Hello, it's IELTS with me tutorial, and today I'm going to show you how to write a Band 9 essay for your IELTS writing task 1 question. In this module, we'll focus on a model essay as well as examiner's comment and much more important, the step-by-step explanation. Let's get started. Remember that you should spend about 20 minutes on this question, on this task, not more than this. Now we have 1, 2, 3 charts. This is a difficult and complex question with a much more detail. Let's take a look at it. The chart below gives data about the popularity percentage of people doing regularly of various sports in different countries. The graph shows the amount of time that people in those countries spend reading books, newspapers, or in internet articles per day. There is also a table showing the average price of books. Pretty complex charts and question with much more data and details to explain and what should we do in this kind of situation. You have to write a report summarizing the information, select and describe the main features and make comparisons where relevant. Remember that you have to choose the trend and trends and the exceptions and then make comparisons. Okay, as I talked here in chart 1, and now we see actually the sports popularity between 4 different nations, right? How should we group the data, right? How we can do this? As we see here, the nation A and C are with 3 field in nation D are the same as each other. They follow the same pattern, right? Here in nation D, somehow the gym area is our exception with over 25%, right? And also nation D, we understand that the popularity of running, swimming, tennis, these are much more popular activities, okay? We can say that the most of the people in nation E, the A, C, and D, most of them follow the same pattern, right? Regarding actually time spent reading, right, minutes per day, we can say that the nation A, C, D follow the same pattern over 50 minutes, right? Over 50 minutes. The exception here is nation B, right? It's almost 20 minutes. You see, most of the people here spending their time for sports, even not for reading, right? We can write this actually coloration. We can write about this pattern. And regarding chart 3, average price of books in euros, right? average price, nation A, B, C, D, 7, 7.5, 6.9, 7. We can say that the norm here is a 7, right? And most of them are near to this norm, and they follow the norm, okay? Yeah. And for this chart, I can say that I see this trend, this exception. Okay, there is no pattern or trend or exception for this pattern, for this chart. Okay, let's get started for writing. The charts show information for 4 countries regarding in terms of the popularity of certain sports, time spent reading, and the average price of books. In terms of the sports, I'm using academic phrases. We see that country A, C, D. Country A, C, D are in most respects quite similar. A, C, D. Yeah, they are near to 10%, except D, okay? Except gym, right? In each of these countries, regular participation in tennis with double N, swimming with double M, and running is around the 10% mark. Country D is somewhat different, because its popularity of gym use is about 2.5 times higher than the other countries at 25%, right? That's true. I mentioned here about the popularity of gym, how much it is. The other one is around 10%, but here 1, 2, 3. It's actually 1, 2, 3, near 3 times, right? From here 10%, from here 2.5%, and near to 25%. That's important to mention. And about 2.5 times higher than the other countries at about 25%. This is the highest level of popularity in the data shown. Okay, that's important. Regarding other paragraph, nation B is a noticeable exception in most respect. It is important. A noticeable exception in most respect, in most areas, in most fields, in most sections. Although why its popularity of gym use 10% is similar to countries A and C, in other sports it has a much higher level of participation. Okay, we said that gym is the same as the other, right, around 10%, but in other area it's more than 20%, right? It's much more, there is much more participation here, right? Although its popularity of gym use 10% is similar to countries A and C, in other sports it has a much higher level of participation. It has tennis at about okay, participation at about 18%, swimming at around 21%, and its figure for running about 23%. I'm not sure, therefore I'm using around or about 23%. Okay, that's pretty important. A minutiae detail, okay, is the second highest here. Okay. Turning to time, I'm talking about the last chart. Turning to time spent reading. No, the second chart here, right? Time is spent, right? Um, Written, countries A, C, and D are very similar at around 55 minutes, while nation B is less than half of this at 20 minutes. It's important, less than half of this at 20 minutes, right? Here we see around 55 minutes, and here we see around 20 minutes, right? At 20 minutes. However, now we are talking about the last chart, average price of book, which is the norm is 7, right? There is no real difference in book prices between the countries, where 7 euros is roughly the norm in each one of the countries. To sum up, to recapitulate, all in all, in conclusion, country B's higher participation in sport may be reflected in lower reading times, right? We can say somehow there is a link, there is an association, there is, some correlation. But, however, the price of books appears not to follow this pattern. Yeah, that's important. However, the price of books seems not to follow this pattern, this trend. Okay, here in conclusion, we talked about the conclusion of the essay, and we talked about a very important issue, and we used pretty much high level vocabularies, such as maybe reflected or using impersonal style instead of I believe that it appears or I say this. No, I use an impersonal style. The price of books appears not to follow this pattern, okay? Which these language is pretty common in academic English, okay? Yeah. Pay attention that to using actually how we used and grouped our data. It is pretty important. Why? Because we have so much figures here, and therefore we have to avoid to bring too much detail to our essays, right? Yeah. And actually the language we use here to describe the proportion is important. For example, 2.5 times higher or the highest level. Yeah, that's important. We used also less than half of this, roughly near to the norm, right? These are pretty important. And at the end, actually, in our conclusion, we used, maybe reflected, or appears not to follow this pattern, right? And these are actually typical vocabularies for writing our academic sentences, right? And at the end, by using these strategies, these techniques, we will be able to get a high-level band score, okay? Yeah. Thank you so much. I hope that you enjoyed this module. Thanks a lot for watching this lesson, and see you soon in another IELTS with me tutorial. Take care and bye.